I think you've got winter all figured out. A couple of extra blankets, some candles, maybe your favorite fuzzy socks. If that's your plan, you're in for a rude awakening. Winter doesn't care about your comfort or your life, for that matter. It's brutal, unforgiving, and it will chew you up and spit you out if you're not prepared. Every single year, thousands of people lose their lives to freezing temperatures, hypothermia, and winter-related accidents. This isn't just cold weather we're talking about, this is a fight for survival. Imagine a storm hits, and it's not just a couple of inches of snow. No, I'm talking about a blizzard so powerful it knocks out your power for days, even weeks. Suddenly your heater, useless, your fridge, emptying out fast. That warm, cozy home, it's turning into an icebox. And you're left scrambling, wishing you had done more to prepare. If you think this sounds dramatic, you haven't been paying attention. Mother Nature doesn't hand out participation trophies. You either prepare or you pay the price. And trust me, the cost of being unprepared isn't just a bit of discomfort. It's frostbite, health risks, and in the worst-case scenario, your life. But here's the good news, it doesn't have to be that way. Today we're breaking down the 7 absolute must-have items to get you through winter alive. No fluff, no gimmicks, just the essential gear you need to stay warm, fed, and safe when the temperature plunges. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's standing between you and a very bad time this winter. Are you ready to take winter seriously? Good. Then buckle up, because here's what you need to survive. 1 cold weather gear for every scenario. Think you're ready to face a dead of winter blackout because you have a thick hoodie, a winter coat, and maybe a cheap blanket or two. Guess again. When the power goes out and temperatures plummet, staying warm isn't just about cracking open that bin of sweaters, it's about survival. Once your heating fails, you're not battling discomfort anymore. You're fighting to keep your body functioning, and trust me, winter doesn't pull its punches. Here's a harsh reality check for you: hypothermia doesn't care if you're indoors. If your home becomes an icebox, your body is on the clock. And no, random layers of cotton t-shirts under that one puffy jacket aren't going to cut it. If you're serious about surviving the cold, you need cold weather gear that actually works. Not the bargain bin stuff you found last minute, but real, high-quality gear designed for extreme conditions, gear used by people who know what it's like to live on the edge of freezing to death. Start at the base. A good set of thermal layers is your foundation. But listen carefully, ditch the cheap cotton. Think that old thermal shirt you've had for years will help? Guess again. Cotton holds onto sweat, and when sweat cools down, it drains your body heat faster than you can imagine. Instead, go with fabrics like merino wool or high-performance synthetic blends. These materials wick away moisture while keeping you warm and dry, 2 things you'll desperately need when the temperature drops like a rock. Layer 2 is about insulation. You're aiming for something that traps heat without adding a ton of bulk. Fleece and down are excellent choices. A lightweight fleece jacket or a down vest can work wonders for keeping you toasty without restricting your movement, because yes, you'll still need to move around when things go south. And on top of all that, make sure your outer layer is windproof and waterproof. That's not optional. A poorly sealed window or a blast of icy wind can strip heat from your body at an alarming rate, and good luck dealing with wet clothes when nothing's generating warmth. Now, don't stop at your core. Your extremities, that's where heat escapes the fastest. Ignore them, and you'll find out what it feels like to have fingers and toes too numb to function. Equip yourself with thick wool socks, insulated gloves, and a thermal hat or balaclava that covers your head and neck. And here's an absolute must-have: throw in a stash of chemical hand and foot warmers. These little heat packs are lifesavers, providing hours of warmth exactly when and where you need it most. Speaking of your feet, sneakers or glorified waterproof boots won't make the cut when you have to step outside in deep snow or freezing rain. Invest in insulated, waterproof winter boots. Keep your feet warm, keep them dry, and trust me, you'll thank yourself later when frostbite isn't part of your survival story. And there's one more thing that most people overlook: a sub-zero thermal sleeping bag. It's not just some camping gimmick. When you can't heat your whole house, this will become your cocoon of warmth. Curl up inside it during the coldest nights, and you can preserve your body heat in conditions that would otherwise leave you shivering endlessly. Still think this sounds like overkill? Picture yourself without heat in single-digit temperatures for just 2 days. Your layers aren't just about staying comfy, they're about keeping your body from burning through calories dangerously fast just to stay warm. Without the right gear, even basic tasks like fetching water or checking on a neighbor can turn into real risks. Frozen hands don't work well, frozen feet won't carry you far, and even the smallest lapse in preparation could come back to bite you hard. Now's the time to gear up. Test everything out beforehand, learn how to layer properly, make sure your clothes fit comfortably, and store your gear in an easy-to-access spot. When that power outage hits and your house starts to chill faster than you thought possible, every piece of quality cold weather gear you have will feel like a lifeline. This isn't a fashion statement, it's survival. Winter doesn't care about your excuses or your shortcuts. If you're not serious about staying warm, you're playing a dangerous game. Invest in the right gear now, or suffer when the cold shows you exactly why you shouldn't have cut corners. 2 solar lighting kits, your lifeline in a winter blackout. Let me ask you something, what's your plan when the power goes out, the sun sets at 4 p.m., and you're left stranded in pitch-black darkness? I think a few candles and a flashlight are going to cut it. Sure, that might get you through one night if you're lucky. But what happens when the batteries die, the candles burn out, and you're still trapped in the dark, stumbling blindly through your own home? If you think it sounds bad now, imagine living it, because without proper lighting, that darkness becomes more than inconvenient. It's disorienting, it's dangerous, and it takes a toll on your sanity and safety. Enter the solar lighting kit, a must-have, not a nice-to-have. These kits are reliable, sustainable, and a total game-changer during a blackout. Here's how they work. A good solar lighting kit comes with multiple lights that charge during the day and provide long-lasting illumination when the sun goes down. We're talking hours of light without the constant stress of battery replacements or limited fuel supplies. And the best part, solar panels are designed to work even in low light, so cloudy winter skies aren't a deal-breaker. Most kits come with compact, easy-to-set-up panels and lights that can be linked to one power source. This means one charge can light up several rooms, outdoor areas, or wherever you need it most. Don't overlook those settings. Either kits with adjustable brightness are a lifesaver. Use a dim setting for simple tasks to conserve power, and turn it up when you need focused lighting for more critical activities. Now, if you think this is overkill, wake up. The dangers of a dark home go way beyond inconvenience. Cooking, cleaning, or even walking from one room to another becomes a frustrating ordeal. Ever tried navigating icy steps outside without light? That's not just annoying, it's a trip to the ER waiting to happen. And then there's the mental toll. Darkness isn't just unsettling, it's downright terrifying for kids, the elderly, and even most adults. Anxiety spikes. Morale hits rock bottom. A well-lit home isn't just practical, it's essential for keeping everyone calm and reassured when everything else feels unpredictable. But solar lighting isn't just for indoors. During a blackout, your home's exterior becomes just as tricky to manage. Think about all the things that go bump in the night: wild animals, intruders, or just plain old icy yard conditions. A well-placed solar floodlight can light up your property, giving you the visibility and peace of mind you need when every other house on the block is pitch black. And here's another advantage: portability. Many solar lighting kits include lanterns or handheld lights that are perfect for emergencies. Whether you need to check on neighbors, evacuate quickly, or just see 5 feet in front of your face, these portable options have you covered. Some models even come with USB chargers built in, so you can power up small devices like your phone or radio. Trust me, staying connected matters when you're in survival mode. Now, imagine going without it. You're fumbling in the dark, wasting what's left of your batteries, and kicking yourself for not preparing sooner. Is that how you want to tackle a winter blackout? Didn't think so. With a solar lighting kit, you're not just buying convenience, you're investing in a lifeline. You'll have reliable, renewable light whether the grid is down for days or weeks. The message is simple: don't underestimate how brutal winter blackouts can be. Darkness makes everything harder, more dangerous, and more stressful than it should be. Prepare now or regret it later when you realize the cost of doing nothing. A solar lighting kit is your ticket to keeping your home functional, safe, and bright when the harsh realities of winter try to knock you down. Don't guess. Don't delay. Get one before you're left in the dark, literally. 3. The indispensable power of solar-powered rechargeable battery banks. You think you've got this winter blackout thing under control? Think again. When the snow gets heavy, power lines snap, and transformers start exploding like fireworks, you'll quickly understand that electricity isn't just a convenience, it's your lifeline. Without it, your daily essentials become useless props. Your phone? Dead weight. Your flashlight? A forgotten relic. And if you rely on medical devices like a CPAP machine, forget it, you're in real trouble. Here's the blunt truth. You can't assume you'll figure it out when the lights go out, you need to plan ahead. Average smartphone batteries barely survive a single day under normal use, and in freezing temperatures, that lifespan gets cut in half. Half. You'll be lucky if you limp through half a day before that screen goes dark. And once you're out of power, you're also out of options. That's why having a solar-powered rechargeable battery bank isn't just smart, it's non-negotiable. These banks are your portable power plant. And here's the thing, don't cut corners and grab the first cheap pack you see online. You need a high-capacity bank, one that's built to power multiple devices multiple times. The magic number is 20,000 mAh or higher. Anything less won't cut it when you're struggling to stay connected while the temperature outside plummets. Now, this is where solar charging capability becomes a game changer. Because when the grid goes down, what's your backup? The sun. That's right. A solar-powered battery bank ensures that as long as daylight exists, you have the means to recharge your devices. And if you really want to supercharge your preparedness, pair your battery bank with a foldable solar panel. Lightweight, portable, and efficient, these panels can directly charge your gear or juice up your battery bank so you're never left without power. You don't have to be a survivalist to appreciate the value of essentially turning sunlight into energy during a crisis. What happens if you're caught unprepared? Brace yourself for chaos. Without power, your connection to the outside world disappears. No phone means no calls for help, no weather alerts, and no staying connected with loved ones. You're flying blind in a storm, cut off and vulnerable. And don't even get me started on trying to stumble through a freezing house in the dark with no flashlight to guide you. Even basic tasks are an exercise in frustration and danger. But it goes deeper than inconvenience. If you rely on essential electronic devices, a weather radio, heated blankets, or medical equipment, you could be risking your life. Imagine needing help but being unable to call for it. That's not a situation you want to find yourself in. A reliable, high-capacity battery bank keeps your essentials running. More importantly, it buys you time to assess your situation, make plans, and adapt to the unfolding crisis. But power isn't just about practicality in these situations. It's about sanity. Winter nights are brutally long and endlessly cold. The simple ability to send a text, play some music, read by light, or even warm a space makes all the difference in keeping your head on straight. It keeps morale up when your surroundings are bleak. And trust me, the mental toll of being in total darkness, unsure of your next step. It's not something you want to gamble with. The key is preparation. Don't only buy a battery bank, test it. Make sure it works. Understand how long you can rely on it. Keep it fully charged before the storm hits, and double-check that your solar panel pairing is functional. Don't procrastinate. When the power grid collapses and the cold creeps in like an unwelcome guest, staring at a blank screen as you helplessly realize you're out of power will be your biggest regret of the season. This winter, don't play games with your safety. A solar-powered rechargeable battery bank is more than a convenience, it's your backup lifeline. The sun will rise every day, but the grid might not come back online for weeks. Make the investment now. Or risk the consequences of being stuck powerless when winter shows no mercy. 4 essential hand-crank weather radios that could save your life. Here's the hard truth about winter blackouts: silence isn't just eerie, it's deadly. When all goes quiet, you're not just sitting in the dark, you're disconnected from critical life-saving information. No storm updates, no evacuation orders, no information about emergency shelters opening nearby. Without timely updates, you're operating blind in a dangerous situation. Whether you realize it now or when it's too late, staying informed could be the difference between making it through or becoming another statistic. Picture this: your phone is dead, the internet is down, and that fancy smart TV has been reduced to a useless hunk of plastic. Power outages don't discriminate between your favorite gadgets. And when you're left fumbling in the dark, the only thing that stands between you and total isolation is a reliable hand-crank weather radio. Not the cheap kind you pick up in the bargain bin at some discount store, but a rugged, dependable emergency radio that's built for survival. Here's what you need to look for. First off, it must be NOAA certified. This ensures the radio can tune into AM, FM, and NOAA weather bands so you get real-time updates on storms, evacuations, and other emergencies. But that's not all. The best weather radios come as all-in-one survival tools, often featuring built-in flashlights, USB phone charging capabilities, and even emergency alarms to warn you when serious danger is near. But here's the genius part: hand-crank power. It doesn't matter if you're out of batteries or the blackout stretches on for days, as long as you can crank that handle, you'll have power. Some models even go a step further by including solar panels for daytime recharging, giving you a second way to stay powered up. This too is one is none philosophy ensures you're never completely out of options, no matter how severe the situation gets. And while we're at it, don't underestimate the importance of a built-in flashlight. Picture this scenario: the grid's down, night has fallen, and you're trapped in total, suffocating darkness. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. A hand crank radio with a strong flashlight becomes your guiding light, helping you see your surroundings and maintain mobility in a blackout. Without it, you're left stumbling, a walking accident waiting to happen, both figuratively and literally. Winter storms are relentless, and they don't wait for you to be ready. What if a blizzard's heading your way? What if temperatures drop to dangerously low levels overnight? What if a gas leak occurs or first responders are broadcasting evacuation orders? Without a dependable emergency radio, you might never hear those warnings. That ignorance could cost you dearly. This isn't about convenience, it's about survival. Staying informed during an emergency is critical. It helps you anticipate threats, adapt to the situation, and act decisively when time is of the essence. When it comes to preparation, this small hand crank radio could be the most important tool in your arsenal. Think radios are old-fashioned or optional in 2023? That arrogance can cost you. A reliable emergency radio could save your life or the lives of your family. Pick one with a loud, clear speaker that cuts through the noise of howling winds or screaming chaos. Keep it within reach, close to your go bag or emergency kit, and don't just buy and forget it. Test it regularly. Learn how to use the hand crank and switch between channels. Be prepared. Because when the power goes out, when the darkness takes over, when the cold closes in, and when chaos reigns, the people who are informed will survive. And those who are not, well, winter doesn't care about your ignorance. It's brutal, unrelenting, and utterly unforgiving. Get yourself a hand crank weather radio now, or face the consequences of silence when it matters most. The choice is yours, and it's clear. 5 multi-fuel cooking systems stay warm, stay fed, stay sane. When the power goes out in winter, your kitchen quickly goes from being a place of comfort to a cold, useless reminder of how much you depend on modern luxuries. Microwaves, ovens, stoves, they all become decorations without electricity. The question is, what's your backup plan when cooking instantly becomes a challenge? If you're picturing a meal plan of just cold beans and granola bars, spoiler alert, you're doing it wrong. That's not survival, that's asking for low morale, poor health, and a miserable time. The solution? A multi-fuel cooking system. And no, this isn't just convenient, it's absolutely vital. Here's the reality. You need a way to prepare hot, nourishing meals when the power grid fails, and a multi-fuel cooking system is how you make that happen. Start with a reliable dual-fuel camp stove. These compact powerhouses can run on propane or butane fuels that are easy to store, widely available, and efficient enough to have you boiling water or cooking a full meal in minutes. Think soups, stews, pasta, the kinds of meals that warm you up and actually keep you going when the cold is relentless. But sticking to just one system is a rookie mistake. Supply chains fail, stores run out of fuel, and winter doesn't care if you plan poorly. That's why you need a solid backup. Portable wood-burning stoves are an excellent option. They literally run on whatever you can scavenge: fallen branches, scrap wood, even broken furniture. No fuel cans? No problem. You've got the means to keep cooking. And if you want something lightweight and clean burning, an alcohol stove is your answer. Running on common fuels like rubbing alcohol or even ethanol, these stoves are a lifesaver when propane or butane runs dry. Now, let's talk about the grim reality of not being prepared. Sure, you can get by on cold meals and canned food for a day or two. But what happens when you need to boil water for sanitation to avoid illness? Or when someone in your family, especially an elderly parent or child, is sick and desperately needs a hot, soothing meal? Or when your kids, already freezing and miserable, just need the comfort of a warm cup of tea or hot cocoa? Without a reliable cooking setup, these scenarios go from uncomfortable to dangerous real fast. A multi-fuel cooking system gives you options. It's not just about filling your belly, it's about survival and even sanity. Cooking hot meals in a crisis can bring a sense of normalcy when everything else feels chaotic. With the right setup, you can prepare warm, comforting meals like soup, rice, pasta, or even coffee. These small comforts are anything but trivial when winter blackouts stretch for days or weeks. But having the stove isn't enough. You also need the tools to make it work. Sturdy cookware is non-negotiable. Cheap pans that warp or burn easily won't cut it, period. Durable utensils, waterproof matches, or a reliable fire starter are just as essential. And don't overlook the importance of a windscreen. If you're cooking in a drafty area, you'll burn through fuel way faster without one. Speaking of which, stock up on fuel. 2 weeks worth, minimum. If you live somewhere prone to long outages, double that. Having extra is always better than running out when you need it most. And prepare to adapt. A wood-burning stove might seem excessive now, but when propane is nowhere to be found, those fallen branches in your yard suddenly become your lifeline. When the blackout stretches on and supplies dwindle, The flexibility of a multi-fuel system puts you miles ahead of everyone else scrambling to survive on packaged junk foods. Winter doesn't wait for your excuses. Cold sandwiches and canned beans might keep you alive in the short term, but they won't sustain your energy, health, or morale for long. A reliable multi-fuel cooking system ensures you can feed your family hot, nourishing meals that not only keep them warm but also emotionally anchored in the face of uncertainty. The bottom line? Don't get caught fumbling in the cold, wishing you'd planned better. Invest now, prepare thoroughly, and you'll be ready to face whatever winter throws your way. When the power fails and the world around you freezes, your cooking system won't just be a tool, it'll be your secret superpower. 6 portable water filtration systems. Clean water is non-negotiable. Here's the unfiltered truth: when winter storms hit, clean water becomes a matter of survival, not convenience. Imagine this: water lines freeze, pipes burst, and suddenly you're cut off from your usual water supply. Maybe bottled water kept you going for a bit, but then you ran out. Now what? You're looking at snow melt, streams, or questionable puddles as your only options. Without a way to filter and purify that water, you're gambling with your life. Spoiler alert, that's a game you don't want to play. Why is water so critical? Because you can only survive for 3 days without it. And don't think the freezing temperatures outside will give you a free pass on hydration. Wrong. The harsh cold can actually make dehydration worse as your body burns through energy to keep you warm. And if you think melting snow is your answer, you'd better have a backup plan, because melted snow without filtration can carry bacteria, parasites, and other nasties. Here's where a portable water filtration system becomes your lifesaver. And no, I'm not talking about some flimsy gadget meant for occasional use. You need the real deal. Start with a gravity-fed water filter. These systems don't need electricity, batteries, or manual pumping. You just fill them and wait while several gallons of water are purified for you and your family. These are perfect for home use when your faucets produce nothing but air. For more mobility, pick up a straw-style filter or a compact pump filter. These are portable enough to carry in your bag and powerful enough to purify suspicious water from streams, snowmelt, or even that murky water left in an outdoor bucket. The best portable filters remove bacteria, parasites, and harmful pathogens, because trust me, the last thing you need during a blackout is a bout of diarrhea from contaminated water. Want to go the extra mile? Get a filtration system with multi-stage technology. These beauties don't just handle the basics: bacteria and parasites, they can also remove heavy metals and harsh chemicals. That's especially important for people in urban environments where sewer systems can overflow and contaminate water supplies quickly. Of course, filtration alone might not cover everything. For viruses, especially in densely populated areas, you need a backup plan. That's where UV sterilizers or purification tablets come in. A UV pen can neutralize viruses in seconds, and purification tablets are cheap, lightweight, and effective for larger quantities of water. And while boiling water can work, here's the ugly truth: it's inefficient during a blackout. If you're low on fuel, you'll be wasting precious resources trying to boil gallons of water day after day. Now imagine this reality without a solid water filtration system. Cooking becomes a nightmare. Hydration becomes a health hazard. Hygiene? Forget about it. And before you know it, you're spiraling into a situation where contaminated water or dehydration could take you down. Think the consequences stop there? Think again. Dehydration in frigid weather can fast-track frostbite and hypothermia. Your body needs water to function, period. Without it, you're weakened, mentally foggy, and at a higher risk of making fatal mistakes. And don't underestimate the psychological toll. Drinking water you suspect is dirty is nerve-wracking. Every sip feels like a gamble. A portable filtration system erases those doubts. It gives you confidence and peace of mind, knowing every drop you drink is life-sustaining, not life-threatening. Preparation is key. Get a quality filtration system before you need it. Learn how to use it confidently before a storm arrives. Throw in UV sterilizers, purification tablets, and even backup solutions like collapsible water storage containers. Don't wait until you're staring at a snowbank wondering if it's safe to melt. Winter doesn't care if you're ready or not, but I promise you this: your body needs clean water, and there's no room for negotiation. A portable water filtration system doesn't just keep you alive, it keeps you strong, grounded, and ready to face whatever winter throws your way. Don't skimp on this. Get one now or regret it when your survival feels like a coin flip. 7 fully stocked first aid kits. Winter isn't forgiving, and injuries don't wait. Here's the straight-up truth: winter doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't care if you slip, fall, or slice your hand open because you weren't prepared for the iced-over driveway or a blunt axe. A simple cut, a twisted ankle, or frostbite might seem minor at first, but in freezing temperatures, Those problems go from annoying to life-threatening faster than you think. Don't kid yourself into thinking a half-empty first aid kit, duct tape, and a couple of band-aids are enough. If that's all you've got, you're asking for trouble. Winter injuries are serious. Even if a hospital isn't miles away, you could still find yourself stranded without help for hours, if not longer. That's why you need a fully stocked, no-excuses first aid kit that's ready for anything. This kit isn't about convenience. It's about survival. It's about giving you the tools to handle minor injuries, major accidents, and even life-threatening situations when emergency services can't reach you. Start with the basics. Bandages are a must, and I'm not talking about one-size-fits-all band-aids. Get adhesive bandages in various sizes, along with sterile gauze and medical tape. Add wound closure strips and butterfly closures to deal with deeper cuts. And if you've been trained, include a suture kit. Because unless you've got stitches handy, a simple cut might split wide open in the bitter cold. Infection risk is no joke when it comes to freezing weather. Bacteria thrive in wounds, and untreated cuts can escalate into fevers, chills, and potentially worse if left unchecked. Antiseptic wipes, iodine, and antibiotic ointment? These aren't negotiable, they're necessities. Use them to clean and disinfect injuries immediately. An untreated wound in winter isn't just risky, it's a fast track to infection when your immune system is already working overtime to fight off the cold. And don't just think about cuts and bruises. People tend to forget the cold itself is your enemy. Frostbite and hypothermia aren't rare, they're common in winter emergencies. A good first aid kit includes chemical heat packs, space blankets, and thermal wraps. These are life-saving for treating cold-related injuries while waiting for help to arrive. Got frostbite? Burn creams and aloe vera gel are crucial to treat damaged skin and prevent permanent tissue loss. And don't even think about skipping pain relief. Stock up on ibuprofen or acetaminophen to manage swelling and pain, and don't stop there. Bring antihistamines for allergic reactions, cold medications, and something to treat sore throats, chills, and respiratory symptoms. Remember, snowstorms don't just wreak havoc on streets, they bring sickness too. Now, what about the big stuff? A lot of people overlook this, but winter injuries don't stop with minor cuts. Slipping on ice can leave someone with a broken bone, a sprained ankle, or worse. Your first aid kit needs to be ready for big emergencies. That means adding splints, trauma pads, and an emergency tourniquet. These sound extreme, but imagine someone bleeding heavily from a laceration during a blackout. Having blood-clotting agents like Silox or Quick Clot in your kit can, quite literally, save lives. Don't forget the tools. Trauma shears can cut through thick clothing layers when you're treating an injury, and tweezers are a must for pulling out ice shards, splinters, or debris. A reliable digital thermometer is essential for checking fevers or hypothermia. Every single piece of gear in your kit needs to serve a purpose. This is no place for fluff. Finally, remember, this isn't just about stopping bleeding or treating frostbite, it's about staying calm under pressure. Panic is a killer in survival situations. Having a well-stocked and organized first aid kit gives you and your family peace of mind when everything feels out of control. Make sure you know how to use each item. Seriously, read the instructions, watch a YouTube tutorial, or take a basic first aid class. Store your kit somewhere accessible and check your supplies regularly. Bandages lose their stick, medications expire, and batteries in your flashlight? They don't last forever. Winter isn't forgiving, and injuries don't wait for the perfect moment to strike. A first aid kit isn't optional, it's your first line of defense when accidents threaten the safety of you and your loved ones. Don't put this off. Stock your kit now, learn how to use it, and stay prepared for whatever winter throws at you. When the storm hits and chaos reigns, you'll be glad you did. Those who prepare survive the rest. Well, they learn the hard way.